We're starting our Wednesday drives with Yalz today. Okay, before I start the topic, you know what I posted last week? So people are like, oh, how'd you get into the internet without any makeup? How do you do it? And oh my God, how did you do that? No makeup, no nothing. Your edgeless head is literally on our screens and stuff like that. Like, how do you just not care? It just prompted me to actually talk about I don't know, self-love, I guess. Let me start with that. I'll just touch a little bit of it. I don't know. So many people, I feel like so many people struggle to look a certain way, you know? It could be trying to match society's standards or today's world or whatever, you know? But they try to like look a certain way, and it's really so much hard work. It's a struggle, you know. I don't know, for me it was important. Even when I started last week with this video, it was just important that I kind of like introduced you to who I am, all natural, in my own skin, in my glory, and you just see me for who I am, you know. No makeup, no nothing, raw, you know. Patches, my skin's all patchy, and you know, I'm chubby, and you know, I'm not trying to look a certain way, because what's important to me is the message that I'm delivering to you, and not what I look like delivering that message. So that's something that really made me laugh the whole week, because when everyone saw my video, it was like, oh, you look a certain way and you don't even have any makeup on, and yada da da da, and I was just like, yeah, nah, that's not who I am. But I don't know, as you get older, you realize that normal is relative, you know. I think that's the best way to put it. I just feel like it's extremely important that we set realistic standards for ourselves, you know. It's so much hard work to try and constantly look good for the camera, and constantly, it's like a lot of effort and hard work, and when you don't get it right, you kind of feel down and out, and you're just like, oh, I'm not looking like camera worthy today or whatever, and it really gets to you. And I think it just becomes exhausting, it just becomes draining, I guess, you know. But anyway, what's really important for me is that we just embrace the best part of ourselves, you know, and we live our lives, you know. Yeah. So anyway, today's topic is based on a friend of mine. She found out she was actually HIV positive when she was pregnant, right? So it took a while for her to like accept that and let it sink in and stuff. She had so many questions. I think for most people, their question is, do I deserve this? And you know, because we see this virus or you know, this disease as being something of, or only people that are of a certain lifestyle or caliber get this disease. Like if I'm naughty, or if, you know, I live my life a certain way, most times, yeah, you know, you've been a bit promiscuous or whatever, but most times you actually just trust the wrong person, and you're actually in a proper relationship with someone, you're committed to them, but clearly they're not committed to you, and they're not truthful enough with you. So then, you know, you end up falling prey to this, you know, to this unfortunate, you know, you get exposed to this, let me use the word exposed, yeah, you get exposed to this unfortunate virus, so to say. So yeah, it was just like a really deep conversation that I had to keep having with her the whole time. For me, what really broke my heart is that she was quite suicidal. For the first year that she found out, even while she was carrying that child, she was just saying, you know, this is the end of me, this is it, you know, the stigma surrounding all this. People tend to look at HIV positive people as something really wrong with them, and you know, you still get people today that are like, oh, you're HIV negative and you're dating this HIV positive person. How? You know, you still get people like that are so backwards and not educated about it, you know. And so I really had to speak to her and say, you know what, you have to live your life normally the way you would if you weren't in this situation or if you didn't have this condition, because reality is there's nothing really wrong with you, except you have to live your life a certain way and a bit different from other normal people that don't have the condition. Example, you can't obviously, mess around and have unprotected sex without telling someone to say, oh, this is my situation and this is what I'm in, because that's initially maybe how you got it in the first place. Someone wasn't truthful enough with you and they knew their status but didn't tell you about they didn't tell you about it and stuff. You ended up having it and stuff like that. So it's just important to be truthful and honest about your status and all that. And I find that's probably where the struggle is as well. There's another friend that got married. He got married and he only found out when his wife was starting to show signs and symptoms, that, oh, she's actually, he was told in hospital, oh, she's actually HIV positive and stuff. And he actually ended up leaving. He didn't leave because he was scared of getting himself into that. He left because there was that lie from the beginning. She wasn't truthful enough to say, listen, this is my situation and this is what I'm in and all that. So I kind of understood why he left. Otherwise he loved her. But I think it was that thing where it came out like, since we're made to believe usually it's the guys that infect the girls and the guys are the ones that are promiscuous and they're the ones that run around on you and they're the ones that cheat, so they're the ones that bring this into a home and stuff. So it kind of looked like, she wanted it to come out like I got this from him with time. Obviously we're not going to question her, we're going to question the guy, because that's how it is most of the time, which is completely wrong. Even guys fall prey to women that do this, so yeah. So anyway, back to the other friend of mine that was pregnant and going through this. It really just opened up my eyes to a whole lot out there, to say that you might live with a condition and it changes your life in so many ways. You have to adjust, you have to live a life of normality, and you shouldn't really act like anything's wrong with you, apart from the obvious reasons that you have to be extra careful and you can't be promiscuous. You have to be honest with your partners or who you date or whatever. And above all, you need to exercise protection at all times when you're intimate with someone, So it was just quite I was shaken by it. And it just really hit me to say, you know what, there's actually some people in this world that are good people and they just end up trusting the wrong person, especially when you're in love and you're in a relationship or whatever. You trust the wrong person. But in today's age, I think we're a bit more careful and we're a bit more smarter to say, okay, I've only known you a certain period of time. I'm not gonna obviously, give myself to you in that regard. Other people save themselves for marriage or whatever, which is the right way to do things anyway. But if you're not gonna wait for that and you're old enough to make that decision for yourself, you don't go around trusting anyone, And if you do end up meeting someone that's HIV positive in today's age and everything that's come up with, everything that's come up with treatment and stuff, they can actually live a long and healthy life. You can have as many kids as you want and all that. And it was just a very interesting subject for me to have with her and all that, So yeah, it's what baffles me and what really bothers me is just the stigma around it more than anything. People always tend to feel a certain way about it. They always tend to judge and say, oh, were you naughty? Were you misbehaving at one point? Were you, there's all that surrounding it, not knowing that sometimes, like I said, you just trust the wrong person. And that's all there is to it. It's not all the time that you're promiscuous. It's not all the time that you're naughty. It's not all the time you actually ask for it, So yeah, it's just a very sensitive topic. I think that some people don't like having. But anyway, like I said to you, my advice to her really was just to, accept it as it is and know that if someone really loves you, regardless of your status, whether you're HIV positive, negative, they love you for who you are, as long as you're truthful from the beginning, and you get into it completely transparent, and you talk about it. That's what's important. You talk about it. You talk about your fears. Obviously there's fear. We're not beings where we can get into this and be like, oh, you know what, I'm so fearless, I'm just gonna like overcome this because I love this person. No, there's genuine fears that people have with this, you know. So you need to talk about it. You need to get, above all, you need to be counseled by people that are professional, that have done this. That's their profession, you know. You need to be counseled by them above all. So yeah, so it was just something that I spoke to her about, and I just said, you know what, you didn't ask for this. She opened up to me about what happened, how she got it and all that. She trusted the wrong person, obviously, and stuff. And I just said, you know what, you're above this. This happened for a reason. And I'm someone that believes that God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. He can never let you go through something that he knows you can't handle. And that's what I told her. I said, the reason why you're going through this is because you can handle it. That's why you're going through this. It's because you can handle it. He wouldn't let someone else that couldn't handle this go through it. So you're going through this because you can handle it, and because you can end up saving another life, and because you can end up advising someone else in the same situation and make them stronger, you know. That's why you're going through this, you know. So it was a very enlightening conversation to have, I guess. Needless to say, she's married now. She's well on her way to have a second baby with her new husband. And yeah, so, you know, it's just, it's nice to see her at that stage of her life, and she looks good. She eats well, she works out. You wouldn't even tell just by looking at her that, you know, this is her condition or whatever. And it's really nice to see someone, you know, strive so much in their lives, and just, it's nice. It's so inspiring. So that's the topic that I wanted to share with you. So that's my first topic for this drive. Next week I have another topic that we will get into, a bit controversial, but we'll hit it and we'll see. Feel free to message me, to comment, and yeah, give me your honest opinions and thoughts about it. And yeah.